Hi, I'm Zaina Juliette.
It's Zaina Juliette and Friends. Stay tuned for great conversation and music each week.
I'm Zaina Juliette. Join me for a day with entertainment industry's icon, multi-award winning Mr. David Winters.
And now, here's Zaina.
And today I am spotlighting a phenomenal guest. He is an icon in the entertainment industry, multi-award winning actor, dancer, choreographer, singer, director, producer, and author of one of the world's #1 top-selling books. Hi, I'm Zaina Juliette, and you're watching Zaina Juliette and Friends. And today is part 2 of a 2-part special spotlighting entertainment industry's icon and phenomenal entertainer, Mr. David Winters. David Winters also have a #1 top-selling book on the market entitled Tough Guys Do Dance. And I must tell you all, you have got to get this book. It is filled with his incredible experiences of some of the top icons and actors, celebrities in the industry of all time, such as Frank Sinatra, Lucille Ball, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross. Oh my God, the list goes on and on. In fact, David Winters' credits and resume extend so long, I couldn't possibly cover it all in one show. He is truly amazing and truly inspirational. So we'll be right back with more of David Winters right after this.
Something epic. Is coming.
David Winters began dancing at the early age of 2 years old. He was so amazing as a dancer till at age 13, he came to the United States to pursue a career in entertainment as a dancer and an actor, and also a singer. David went on to be cast, because of his talents, in the hit show West Side Story, the Broadway production. After that, he was also cast in the film, one of the very few that was cast as one of the leading roles in West Side Story, the film. Last week, David Winters spoke to me about some of the people that he has worked with, such as Frank Sinatra and Lucille Ball. And this is what he had to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's an interesting business. It's very interesting.
It's very
and
interesting.
There's so much of business. It's
Yeah.
not just the talent, it's the business too.
Right.
Business end of it.
So some of the shows, let's name some of the productions. If you, my friends at home, if you go onto his website, which is on the screen, and you can see I have a lot of films and all these covers flashing on the screen. These are all productions that David is involved with, either as an actor, director, producer, star, and you need to go to his site and just to see all the things that he's done, because I don't even think there's enough time in one show to cover it all.
Thank you.
But let's tell the audience some of the things, some of the shows.
Well, I did a picture in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I was a co-star of the picture called Teddy Bear,
Mm-hmm.
and we won the Sundance Film Festival. We won the Paris Film Festival. We won the Hungarian Film Festival. We won about 11 other film festivals around the world. That was one project that I did. I've just, my last film actually was a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
called Dancing It's On,
Mm-hmm.
and I won 3 worldwide worldwide screen festival awards. I won Best Director, my editor won Best Editor, and my sound man won Best Score.
Oh my gosh, you guys just took the whole thing.
And that was at the AMC Cinemas. The AMC Cinemas, we won that.
So in case you missed the show last week, you can always go on to zainajuliette.com and click on the link that takes you to the television show, and you can watch the entire episode of My Day with David Winters.
Incredible. Now that you've seen some of that footage, that's just a teeny bit of some of the legends and big names that my friend David has worked with. David, why don't you talk to us and tell us about some of the other people, so everyone that you've worked with. I know that you probably can't name them all.
Well, let's start with Lucy.
Lucille Ball.
I love Lucy. I really do. Because Lucy was my second mother. She gave me my first producing job when I was in my 20s, and she took a chance, and she was doing a show while she was doing I Love Lucy, called Lucy in London. And so we went to London and we had a fantastic time. We did the special, and she and I had this very special relationship as we did the show. And she would then talk to me about my wife at the time. She told me not to get divorced, and she was trying to be like a mom to me, and she became a mom to me, absolutely. And years, for years and years afterwards, she would do things for me for nothing. She came and she did the Margret show, another show that I was nominated for the Emmy Award for. And she also did the Zsa Zsa Gabor pilot for me. And, I just love Lucy. Lucy, I miss her so much. I miss her so much.
As you can see, David Winters is so inspirational and such a beautiful, wonderful person inside and out. So let's continue that conversation from last week. This is David Winters.
And then there's a guy named Bobby Darin who left us way too early. Bobby was an incredible performer, incredible singer. I met him in a place called Hanson's Drugstore. It's right next, in New York City, right next door to the backstage of the Winter Garden Theater, which is where I was doing West Side Story. And it's that kind of a hangout for all, and it's a place where everybody buys their makeup. So all the Broadway girls, the chorus girls, they all go in there and they buy their makeup there. And in that building, there's a huge, it's kind of like Tin Pan Alley, There's Neil Diamond's going in there, and Carole King was going in there, and Neil Sedaka.
That was like the spot, huh?
Yeah, it really was, yeah. Everybody was going in there. So I met Bobby in Hanson's, and Bobby and I just clicked. We became friends. I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and a friend of mine from Brooklyn introduced me to him, and he was an up-and-coming kid, trying to, like all of us, trying to get ahead. And he told me that he had this recording contract, and he told me about some of the songs he was thinking about, and he mentioned the song Splish Splash. And I thought, wow, that's so fun, that's a great, and he was kind of embarrassed a little about it because it wasn't serious, it was kind of and Bobby was a beautiful singer. He was really the Frank Sinatra of our day.
Right.
And so he taught me the song, and I liked it a lot. So when I went backstage, I taught it to all the kids in the show, in West Side Story. And so every night at the curtain calls, we would sing Splish Splash. I was taking a bath. Just about a Saturday night. And it became kind of our anthem as we were taking our curtain calls. So when it came out and it was a hit, we felt like we had known about that song all along, and we were kind of involved in it. So it was great, and I was thrilled for Bobby. Bobby became a huge superstar. And Bobby and I stayed friends for many, many years until he passed away. Bobby got me jobs in Los Angeles. When he went to LA, his first movie, he was nominated for the Grammy Award. He won the Grammy Award, and it's like second or third movie. As an actor, I'm talking about.
Wow, yeah.
And he got me a couple of jobs in like the New Interns and things like that he did. And he was a real friend. Bobby was a wonderful friend.
Wow.
And such a talent. And I eventually wound up producing his special, the Bobby Darin special, yeah. And it was great. We had Linda Ronstadt was the guest. Yeah, it was called The Darin Invasion, and there is a record to that still out there. They're selling, of course. Now, another thing that's interesting that you might not know is that I was partners with a guy named Paul Simon.
Ooh.
I used to sing with Paul Simon.
Really?
And we had a group called David Winters and the West Siders. And he and I were partners in singing and writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the lead singer in the group. Paul and I wrote all the material. And we played all the instruments, because I play guitar and I play percussion. And Paul plays everything else. So we did our own records like that. And they're still selling it on the internet today. They still sell some of our records. And Paul and I, we wrote silly songs like Sloppy Lizzie from the Black Lagoon. So, you know, it's just teenage kind of stuff where you try
Fun
to make
stuff,
commercial stuff. And nothing happened. It didn't happen. We did these shows and nothing happened. He had been partners with Art Garfunkel before in a group called Tom and Jerry. And they had a local hit in New York called Hey Schoolgirl from the Second Row, Teacher's Looking Over So I Gotta Whisper Way Down Low. I said, ooh, Papa Luciba, you're mine, love you all the time. Hey now, baby, one thing more. School, how do I remember these lyrics? School ain't over till 4:30. Come on, baby, let's be my date. She said, let's wait. So anyhow, that was he and Tom and Tom and Jerry, and that was he and Artie Garfunkel. So they split up, and then Paul and I went together. Artie went to Europe. So when I split up with Paul, he was called Paul Landis at the time for some reason. He had a girlfriend named Susan Landis. I don't know why, but he called himself Paul Landis.
Right.
And he went to Europe. He met up with Artie Garfunkel again, and they started writing. He told me, oh, well, this is a nice, interesting story. I was doing Hullabaloo years later as the choreographer, and I walk into rehearsal, and someone says, hey, Davey. Nobody calls me Davey. There's two people in the world. I turn around, and it's Paul. I said, Paul, what are you doing here?
Right.
And he says, I'm on the show. And I said, you're on the show? What group are you? And he looked at me like I was an idiot, and he said, Simon and Garfunkel. And I went, oh my God.
Wow.
I didn't look to see that Paul and Artie were Simon and Garfunkel. I had no idea. So we kind of got back together again and talked a lot about it. But what happened is he told me, he said, I went to Germany, and I actually went to Europe where Artie was. We started writing from the heart. Not commercial stuff like you and I wrote, but just from the heart. And we wound up writing Bridge Over Troubled Water, Sounds of Silence. And he said a DJ picked up one of our songs in Germany, and it became a hit. Then it became a hit around Europe, and then, of course, it became worldwide. And in fact, at that time, Paul and Artie had played for an audience in Hyde Park in London for over 1 million people live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Writing from the heart.
yeah, so it was nice. We had a nice reunion, and it was very interesting. So I hadn't expected it at all. I didn't know Simon and Garfunkel was, Paul and Artie. So another thing that happened, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there's a guy named Johnny Hallyday. Johnny Hallyday was the biggest star in France they've ever had, and in many other countries too. His song was just voted in 80 countries. He died December the 6th of last year.
Oh, wow.
And when he died, they closed up the Champs-Élysées. 3 presidents were at his funeral. President Macron, the current president, read his eulogy, and on the Eiffel Tower it said, "Thank you, Johnny." Yeah, and there were millions and millions of people. So Johnny was a friend of mine, and Sylvie Vartan, his wife, who also was a superstar in France, I met her doing Hullabaloo. And she said, "Oh, David, you must come to Paris. Johnny, my boyfriend, will like you." And they call him the Elvis of France. He was called the Elvis of France. "Johnny will love you. You will get along with Johnny. I want you to do a show with Johnny." So she and Johnny took me to Paris, and I wound up staying at their place, which I did every time I went to Paris thereafter. And we became buddy-buddy. And so Johnny, His song was voted #1 in the world, best song. He has a song called Kelka Shows to Tennessee, which is a very sensitive song about Tennessee Williams, the American writer. Now, this #2 was Imagine by John Lennon, and #3 was Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. So those are the top 3 songs in the world ever written, this organization, and it's 80 countries and 20 languages. They voted on it. And so like Johnny and I go back, way, way back. And like, for instance, I was doing the Raquel Welch special with John Wayne and Bob Hope and Tom Jones. And I was with, sorry to name drop, guys, but it's true. I was on a boat in the River Seine with Raquel, and I was shooting a song of her singing. And as I'm shooting the song, off to the side of my eye, I see somebody waving and running down the bank there, the embankment in the River Seine. A half hour later, this guy is still running and waving his arms. And so I look over, and it's Johnny. It's Johnny screaming, David, David, it's Johnny, Johnny, Johnny Hallyday. And all the people along, he's the #1 star in France. Everybody along the bank is applauding him as he's running down the bank, screaming and yelling his name to me.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm so busy on the boat shooting Raquel that I just
Didn't even see.
I didn't see him,
Wow.
So I, till just now, till December the 6th of this year, when I saw that he was, that he died, and he was honored in such a amazing, millions and millions of people showed up. He did a concert at the Eiffel Tower once, and there was over 900,000 people showed up live, and then he had 15% of the population of France watching it on television at the same time. That's how big a star Johnny was.
So incredible.
Yeah. He was
so many amazing
I was very lucky
people.
in my life.
Yes.
Very lucky, yeah.
But at age 2, probably.
Yeah.
That moment, it's like it's not very many, if not maybe a very rare few entertainers, and that can do all the things that you do and have, that type of success that you have.
Yeah, I've been blessed, absolutely
You've been blessed,
blessed.
but it's coming from your spirit. It's your passion, and it's coming from your soul.
Thank you.
And that's a very rare thing. There's different types of artistry in the world, and I think that what you have is a whole nother realm of artistry. This is a phenomenal book, and you'll see why it's the bestseller. As you talk about inside this book, a lot of things that went on behind the scenes.
Yes,
there's a lot of stuff in there that the world don't know about.
Well, that's the thing. These people are very creative, talented, and very beautiful people, and very giving people.
Yes.
A lot of people in show business are very giving. Whenever there's a charity, they're the first people to show up and try to help. Very, very nice. And so there's stories about, as I said, Michael Jackson and Frank Sinatra and other people. Liza Minnelli is my buddy. Alice Cooper, of course. Alice and I go way back. I did Welcome to My Nightmare with Alice, and I introduced him to his wife. His wife now, they just had an anniversary of 42 years. I just celebrated it with he and Cheryl the other day.
You have worked with Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Tell the audience about that.
Michael Jackson is the most giving human being I've ever met in my life, honestly. When I did all of Diana Ross's shows, one day she came to me and she said, the guest on the next special that we're doing, because I worked with Diana for three years, are Muhammad Ali and Michael Jackson. So I thought, wow, that's great. My father was a boxer, and I love boxing, so great. I can't wait to meet Muhammad Ali, and of course, my God, Michael Jackson. Yes. So Michael comes on set, and Diana says, David, this is Michael. Michael, this is David. And Michael says, oh, I know David. And I went, Michael, I don't think so, because if I had ever met Michael Jackson in my life, I would certainly remember. And so he came right up to me and put his hand between our heads and went like this to me.
Oh, wow.
West Side Story. He said, David, I watch you every week of my life. I love that movie. It's my favorite movie. You inspired me in it, and I know every step in that movie. He said, so I know you. So when he did that, we just clicked, and we became very close friends for the rest of our lives, I mean, the rest of his life. And he went on tour with Dangerous, the show Dangerous.
Oh, that was
and he said, please come and visit me in Romania. And also in Holland, he asked me to come spend a week with him. So I did, and it was very interesting, of course, being with Michael. But what was most interesting was his generosity and his giving. And as I say, we would land in a city, and before he went and checked in the hotel, before we checked in, he would go right to the hospital. The hospital did unannounced, and he would go to the children's ward, incurable diseases, and take pictures with them and sign autographs with them.
Wow.
And when he had finished doing that, and everybody was so the kids went crazy. Can you imagine? They didn't expect, here's Michael Jackson.
See Michael Jackson.
Oh my God. Like a living, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then when it was finished, he would take me down the hall, and he'd ask one of the nurses to join us, and his secretary, and he'd say, tell my secretary what you need here to keep these kids feeling better, or make them feel good, or save their lives, While they're here with us, let's try and do something. So please give her whatever machinery that you know exists that you do not have in this hospital. And so we did that at one hospital. And then about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we would go to another hospital.
Yes.
And he's got a show to do. He has to leave at 4 o'clock to do the show for 110,000 people in the stadium every night. And we did this for 6 nights in a row, 6 days in a row. And we go to the second hospital, exactly the same thing. When we finished there now, we're talking about 3:30 in the afternoon. He's got to leave in half an hour. We finally get to the hotel, we check in, and of course he's got thousands of fans waiting there, screaming at him in the lobby and outside and everything. So we go up to his suite, and the first thing he does is he gets on the phone and he says, you take this down, this order, and you buy it, and do not tell anybody who paid for it. You give this anonymously to this hospital. And he had the secretary tell whoever was on the other phone, I didn't ask him, and she wrote down, the person on the other side obviously wrote down. Well, I saw him give away $10 million in 1 week anonymously to those kids. Yeah.
$10 million.
Absolutely. That's hard cash. God knows.
And no one knows about this.
Nobody knows about it.
You're hearing it right now.
Nobody knows about it. I was the only person with him.
From David Winters, yes.
Yes. So Michael is in my book as the most giving, wonderful, wonderful human being. He felt he never had a childhood. He was deprived of his childhood, and because at such a young age he was working and kind of supporting the family, which he still does to this day in a way. But so he felt that he never had a childhood, so he wanted to be a child.
Yes.
And so he reached out to these kids.
He wanted to enjoy all the fun things, and that is the true Michael Jackson. That is the real story.
That is Michael.
And not all the negative things that you've heard on television.
Absolutely.
That was not real.
No, that's to sell newspapers. That's what that is.
To sell.
Magazines. This is the real Michael. The real deal Holyfield.
Yeah.
This is him.
It's all in the book, you guys. Please check out Tough Guys Do Dance by David Winters. You have to get this book. I'm telling you, you will be amazed. Yes, you are incredible.
Thank you very
incredible.
Much. Thank you for having me here.
And with all what we're talking about, there's so many young people today that want to do what David does, that want to dance and want to act and direct. David, let's give them some inspirational words to get started.
Well, never give up your dream, that's for sure. Never say no, never take no as an answer. It doesn't exist.
No.
There is no. You just continue on pushing through ahead of everything and anything that's in your way. and you have a mission. You know where you're going, and you just get there no matter what, through thick and thin. It doesn't matter what anybody says or does to you. You forget about it. You just keep this in your mind, what your task is, where you need to go.
Visualize it.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it has to be in your heart. It has to be your passion.
Yes. Now, when I leave here, I'm going to Bangkok, and I'm receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Martial Arts Masters Association.
Oh my gosh.
And then
What
I'm
an
coming
honor.
back to California, and I'm going to be given the Golden Halo Award. It's an award that's been given since 1936. Jean Harlow is the first recipient of it, and other people since then who received it are some of them are Elizabeth Taylor, Michael Jackson, Lana Turner, Betty Davis, Princess Grace Kelly, Audrey Hepburn, and the list goes on and on and on. So I'm getting that award in October.
David, you are so inspirational, especially to me, because, I'm an entertainer. And, I just listening to you, I've learned a lot. Watching his journey and where he's been and where he's going, I think you should visit his website and see a lot more on David. And we're going to have to do this again.
Right.
Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this very special show spotlighting Mr. David Winters. And he will be coming back to see me again very soon, and we will cover more of David Winters' productions and some of the things that he is doing today. I will see you again next week. Same place, same time. I love you, and bye-bye. Warrior, stand up if you's a warrior, stand strong if you's a warrior, gotta do what's right, girls, gotta make a better world. It's time for us to stand strong, stand together hand in hand, girls, time for us to take control.